In the gloom of a tomb forgotten for 3 millennia, the archaeologists' eyes reflected the glow of lanterns while their footsteps echoed in an ancient silence. The air, thick with dust, also seemed to whisper secrets from the past. They were faced with a historical enigma, the resting place of King Solomon, whose legends spanned the centuries and marked generations. The site was more than an archaeological discovery. The entrance, sealed for millennia, seemed to hold more than just bones and objects. It protected the essence of a king whose wisdom and riches were unparalleled. As the group advanced, it was impossible to ignore the impact of those walls marked by enigmatic symbols. Some referred to ancient Hebrew, while others defied any attempt at identification, as if they were messages intended to challenge human understanding or serve as a warning to invaders. The presence of something immeasurable was palpable. It wasn't just the magnificence of the objects or the astonishing preservation of the environment, but an almost mystical weight. The feeling that, upon crossing that threshold, they were not just unearthing history, but entering a parallel universe where knowledge and power went beyond human limits. Prominent among the artifacts were items that seemed deliberately chosen to accompany Solomon to his eternal rest. There was a scepter adorned with inscriptions that radiated authority and protection, as well as an incredibly preserved crown encrusted with precious stones that reflected an almost supernatural light. More than wealth, these objects seemed to encapsulate a greater purpose, something that transcended the material and aligned with the legends that surrounded the king. However, the real point of tension came when the group's eyes fixed on a scroll. Sealed with a seal of indecipherable origin, it seemed to pulse with a silent energy, as if it carried secrets capable of changing the course of the world. Despite a burning desire to reveal its contents, archaeologists hesitated. The feeling that something greater was watching them, perhaps even testing them, dominated the environment. These hesitations were not unfounded. Solomon was widely known not only for his wisdom, but also for stories of mystical powers. The legend of the magic ring, Solomon's famous seal, reinforced the idea that he possessed abilities that placed him on an almost divine level. Controlling invisible forces, communicating with creatures beyond human understanding, and accessing knowledge that unlocked the secrets of the universe were just some of the capabilities attributed to him. The scene was as surreal as it was fascinating. Archaeologists knew that every decision made at that time would be crucial. Opening the scroll could shed light on questions that have long intrigued humanity, but fear of the unknown has paralyzed them. It was not just the fear of damaging such a fragile artifact, but also the intuition that some mysteries should remain untouched. Meanwhile, at a site near the city of David, Israeli archaeologist Dokotra Eilat Mazar was working on another project that would ultimately bring new layers of complexity to Solomon's legacy. The excavations, initially aimed at finding remains of King David, revealed impressive structures dating back to the 10th century BC. Massive walls, pottery fragments, and ancient Hebrew inscriptions emerged from the depths, offering clues that reinforced the connection to the era of the legendary king. With each new artifact discovered, excitement grew among experts. The proximity to the era of Solomon, coupled with the wealth of evidence, sparked speculation about the possibility that they were approaching the king's true resting place. Monuments that exuded grandeur and remnants of a period full of achievements made it impossible to ignore the grandeur of the moment. Inside that forgotten tomb, the air seemed to carry something beyond dust and the weight of time. There was an uneasiness that was difficult to describe, as if the place had been carefully hidden and guarded by forces that transcended human understanding. The feeling that that chamber had been protected for specific purposes became even more evident with the discovery of relics that expanded the mystery. It's intriguing to think that such ancient secrets can carry a power that transcends the limits of time. Just like this tomb, many truths remain hidden, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. If this discovery has awakened in you a curiosity for hidden knowledge and a desire to understand mysteries that can transform your perception, there is something special for you. The ebook, The Forbidden Name of Jesus, uncovers long-hidden secrets, offering a new perspective on deep spiritual questions. It is available in the first pinned comment. Take advantage of this unique chance to access knowledge that can change the way you see the world. Among the most intriguing finds were more than 30 ancient bulls. These clay seals, used to authenticate official documents, contained inscriptions that fascinated archaeologists and historians. Initial analysis suggested they may have belonged to Solomon's close advisors, men who played crucial roles in the administration of his kingdom. The presence of these bulls indicated a direct connection to the royal court, revealing a glimpse of the complex administrative system that supported the rule of one of the most enigmatic monarchs in history. Close to the heart of the tomb, a monumental discovery caught our attention, a grand portal which seemed to challenge the architectural notions of the time. Its construction, elaborate and imposing, suggested that Salomo had not only ordered the creation of that space, but that he could also have designed it, integrating symbolic and strategic elements that reinforced its meaning. Around the portal, other objects of historical value appeared, such as ceramic vases adorned with ancient Hebrew inscriptions. These pieces, it seemed, were used by high-ranking officials of the Solomonic government, perhaps in rituals or daily administrative activities. In addition to these items, small statues and intriguing symbols emerged from the ground. Many depicted fertility icons and figures that appeared to serve as spiritual guardians. These artifacts added a mystical dimension to the discovery, suggesting that rituals played a central role in the context of Solomon's life and legacy. As the team continued digging, the weight of the discovery became almost overwhelming. Among the most disturbing artifacts were ancient tablets filled with long-forgotten symbols and inscriptions. Rumors echoed among scholars. Those tablets could contain secrets that Solomon never wanted to be revealed. Perhaps they were records of knowledge so powerful that it could transform the world or destroy it. The location of the tomb, close to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, seemed to confirm many speculations. For centuries, it was believed that the tomb of the legendary king was buried beneath layers of history and ruins in that region. Solomon's temple itself, which the scriptures describe as a masterpiece of engineering and spirituality, was surrounded by legend. It is said that the temple was built with the help of supernatural forces and magical knowledge, a symbol of divine wisdom and incomparable power. Its shine, reflected in the gold and precious stones that adorned it, fascinated everyone who visited it. However, the stories about the king's tomb were not just about glory. There were myths that Solomon purposely hid his resting place, protected by curses and traps designed to ward off onlookers and thieves. This aura of danger was intensified by the findings of Dr. Eilat Mazar. Fragments of the inscriptions discovered suggested warning messages to those who dared disturb the king's eternal sleep. The possibility of deadly traps and protective spells fueled theories that Solomon, with his reputation for magical powers, sealed his tomb with barriers that went beyond the physical. Even the most skeptical archaeologists could not ignore the weight of these assumptions, especially in the face of mounting evidence that the Solomonic era was much more advanced than previously thought. Artifacts recovered from the site presented a portrait of a highly sophisticated kingdom. Relics that indicated complex commercial connections, meticulous written records, and a monarchy that operated with strategic discipline painted a picture of a ruler whose impact reached beyond Israel's borders. The traditional view of Solomon as a wise and wealthy king was expanded to include a shrewd and visionary leader whose innovations profoundly shaped his era. Despite all the discoveries, the mystery seemed to grow with each new find. Solomon's tomb was not just a historical landmark, but an enigma wrapped in layers of symbolism, magic, and power. Over the course of the excavations, it became clear that the secrets of that place not only belonged to the past, but also carried profound implications for the present. Find out what's behind these mysteries before it's too late. The Forbidden Name of Jesus is available for a limited time. Get yours now in the first pinned comment. As discoveries progressed, the narrative surrounding Solomon's legacy became increasingly complex. The artifacts found seemed to not only belong to an era of splendor, but also to a kingdom that held secrets beyond comprehension. Ceramic vessels carefully adorned with enigmatic symbols began to challenge conventional beliefs about the king. Some featured patterns that evoked unknown rituals, perhaps spiritual practices that coexisted with the official religion but never came to light publicly. The figures carved among the objects reinforced these suspicions. They represented entities that appeared to play protective and fertility roles, suggesting a direct connection to deities that, on the surface, contradicted the image of Solomon as a devout ruler. Scholars began to wonder whether these relics indicated that he kept occult practices secret, perhaps reconciling different beliefs and philosophies, or whether they were reflections of forbidden knowledge that he preferred to keep out of the reach of his people. The mystery deepened with the discovery of a parchment delicately placed next to the king's crown. On its surface, a symbol that no one could decipher seemed to radiate a meaning that surpassed the limits of known knowledge. The inscription was both fascinating and disturbing, as if it had been left there on purpose to confuse or challenge future explorers. The hesitation to open the scroll was evident. Its physical fragility competed with the fear of what its contents might reveal. Archaeologists feared that one false step could destroy something irreplaceable, but the possibility of uncovering secrets that Solomon had possibly buried with him was too tempting. Legends already spoke of his incomparable wisdom and his mastery of knowledge that encompassed distant cultures and advanced technologies. Maybe, just maybe, that scroll was the key to these mysteries. What did the unknown symbol represent? Would it be a portal to better understand the times of Solomon, or a warning so that that knowledge would not be revealed? Inscriptions found at the site suggested that the king had access to information about distant civilizations, connecting him to kingdoms and cultures beyond Israel's borders. This breadth of wisdom reinforced the idea that his government was not just centered in the present, but rooted in a global and timeless understanding. The possibility that the contents of that tomb could rewrite entire chapters of history was both exciting and alarming. Each discovery seemed to carry an unsustainable weight, as if each artifact represented a piece of a larger puzzle, the solution to which could redefine what humanity knew about itself. Dr. Eilat Mazar and her team increasingly felt the emotional and intellectual impact of their mission. The simple act of exploring became dark, with the feeling that they were dealing with something that challenged the boundaries between history, mythology, and spirituality. There were still areas of the tomb that remained untouched, but the signs left by Solomon were enough to fill the corridors with an almost palpable aura of mystery. The scope of his knowledge was reflected in everything around him, from the inscriptions on the vases to the architectural techniques that supported the structure. Even the entrance portal, monumental in its construction, bore the marks of a craftsmanship that seemed ahead of its time. Solomon, known for his ability to build with excellence, became a symbol of the evolution of engineering and mathematics in the ancient period. The construction of the first temple in Jerusalem, a work that many considered impossible using the technology of the time, was proof of his ingenuity. The sculptures and architectural designs found near the tomb reinforce this notion, with details that defied the technical limitations attributed to the 10th century BC. If artifacts in the tomb include detailed plans, tools, or manuscripts, these discoveries could shed light on construction practices from that period. They could reveal methods that, so advanced, rival those of much later civilizations. This possibility raised even bigger questions. To what extent did ancient civilizations like Solomon's possess knowledge that had been lost over the centuries? And more importantly, why would such secrets have been buried, as if they were too dangerous to reveal? The knowledge that can transform your journey is at your fingertips. The forbidden name of Jesus. It's almost sold out. Run and download in the first pinned comment. The mystery seemed to intensify with each new piece of evidence, as if the tomb itself held more questions than answers. The notion that Solomon was not only a wise king, but also a master of ancient and hidden knowledge became almost impossible to ignore. Every detail found suggested that he governed not only with political intelligence, but with an understanding of the world that went beyond the limits of his time. The discoveries related to Solomon's tomb began to provoke deep reflections on the impact these revelations could have on our understanding of history. The idea that ancient civilizations like Solomon's held advanced knowledge long before renowned empires like Greece and Rome defies established historical timelines. This not only redefines Israel's role in ancient history, but also suggests that lost secrets may be hidden in other, yet undiscovered locations. Among the most intriguing points of the discussions is the possibility that the tomb is protected by a curse. Ancient cultures, especially the most powerful rulers, had the custom of protecting their resting places with threats or spells designed to discourage looters. The pharaohs of Egypt, for example, inscribed warnings in their burial chambers, proclaiming punishments for those who disturbed the dead. In the case of Solomon, a man often associated with divine wisdom and mystical abilities, imagining that he could have established similar protections is not a far-fetched idea. Rumors of a curse involving the tomb gain even more strength due to the mysticism attributed to the king. Some archaeologists and historians suggest that disturbing Solomon's resting place could trigger unforeseen consequences. Although many may consider this a superstition, there are records in several cultures that attribute mysterious events to disturbed spirits or supernatural protections at sacred sites. This idea mixes a fascination with the unknown with a cautious respect for the practices and beliefs of the past. The figure of Solomon himself fuels these speculations. His fame as a possessor of divine wisdom, coupled with stories of controlling unseen forces and understanding universal secrets, raises the possibility that he could have left lasting safeguards in his tomb. These protections, whether real or metaphorical, could have served both to preserve his legacy and to prevent his power from falling into the wrong hands. In an era where the supernatural played a central role in people's minds, fear or respect may have kept the place untouched for centuries. If such protections truly exist, disturbing the tomb could trigger unpredictable consequences, reigniting ancient fears in a world trying to balance science and spirituality. Furthermore, the potential impact of this discovery goes far beyond mysticism. Solomon is not only a religious figure, but also a political and cultural icon. The temple he built remains a landmark in Jewish identity, symbolizing a unifying period and an unprecedented architectural achievement for its time. Finding Solomon's tomb could further strengthen the historical connection between modern Israel and the biblical narratives. This discovery has the potential to create a tangible bridge between the past and present, validating beliefs and traditions that have shaped the culture of an entire region. However, such validation could also trigger disputes in an already sensitive scenario. The city of David, located nearby the tomb, is an area of great historical and spiritual importance, but also a point of political tension. The revelation of a definitive connection to Solomon could attract both tourism and controversy, increasing debates over the ownership and preservation of these sacred spaces. The artifacts found so far already indicate a significant impact, but the possibility of finding more manuscripts or items that confirm Solomon's wisdom adds even more complex layers to the situation. These documents could not only redefine our understanding of ancient history, but also influence relationships between different religious and political groups. The validation of biblical accounts can become a powerful symbol in discussions about identity, culture, and territory. If the tomb's contents reveal architectural secrets, records of lost knowledge, or evidence of connections to other ancient civilizations, the way we view Solomon's legacy could be transformed. This is not just a rediscovery of the past, but an invitation to reevaluate how ancient societies shaped the modern world. Each artifact and piece of text is a piece of a larger puzzle, the complete solution of which may reveal not only Solomon's greatness, but also a glimpse into a world that seemed far beyond his time. Hidden truths like this don't come along every day. Download The Forbidden Name of Jesus while it's still available. Access now via the first pinned comment. The writings attributed to King Solomon represent more than a simple record of his era. They carry the intriguing potential of philosophies, laws, and spiritual practices that may have been erased by time. The possibility that these texts bring forgotten truths or perspectives that challenge modern interpretations of spirituality and history is both fascinating and unsettling. The wisdom that helped Solomon rule his kingdom could contain not only practical solutions for running an empire, but also messages that transcend his time, offering lessons or warnings meant to impact future generations. This delicate balance between curiosity to explore these secrets and prudence regarding what can be unearthed reflects the very essence of ancient knowledge. It was not just about accumulating information, but about recognizing its transformative and often dangerous power. Solomon, recognized for his divine intelligence, understood better than anyone that some truths can be both a blessing and a curse. He knew that certain teachings, depending on how they were interpreted, could generate chaos or open paths that the world was not yet prepared to follow. This duality is what makes Solomon's tomb such a powerful symbol. The site is not just a repository of artifacts, it encapsulates a deeper understanding of the power of knowledge. The way Solomon concealed his treasures and writings suggests not only a desire to protect them from looters, but also to preserve them until they were discovered by those who approached with due respect and understanding. In ancient cultures, knowledge was revered as something divine, a gift from the gods to guide humans on their journey. However, with this gift came the responsibility to protect it from misinterpretation or reckless use. This is the fear that resonates among modern scholars. Revealing what is in Solomon's tomb could not only disrupt the physical location, but also destabilize the spiritual balance that surrounds it. There is a silent respect for what has been left untouched for millennia, as if every stone and symbol there is communicating that certain secrets should remain hidden. The discoveries related to Solomon's tomb have ramifications that go beyond archaeology. They touch on topics of science, politics, spirituality, and even the supernatural. Validating ancient texts through these relics could rewrite entire chapters of history, reinforcing narratives that were previously treated as legends or mere stories. Likewise, the political impact of these revelations could be monumental, especially in a region where the past and present are deeply intertwined. However, the true core of these discoveries lies in the wisdom of Solomon. It was not just his ability to judge fairly or lead strategically, but his deep awareness that knowledge, at its core, is an indomitable force. Some truths he knew were not ready to be delivered to the world without first being carefully contextualized. His reign was a reflection of this philosophy, where governing was not just about exercising power, but also about protecting that which was sacred and transcendent. Solomon's tomb reflects this vision clearly. Every object, inscription, and symbol found at the site seems to convey a message of caution. Ancient rulers like Solomon often protected their legacies not only as a way of preserving their memory, but also as an act of responsibility. They understood that certain riches, whether material or spiritual, could become instruments of destruction if they fell into the wrong hands. The careful concealment of the tomb is a striking example of this philosophy. It's not just a treasure chest, but a monument to the understanding that power must be treated with humility. Solomon himself seems to have left a clear message. His wisdom and secrets are not to be revealed lightly. They are protected not by vanity, but by a sense of duty to ensure that only those who approach with reverence and understanding can access these teachings. The mystery surrounding the tomb lies not only in its secrets, but also in its purpose. Solomon knew that true knowledge is not something that can be conquered or possessed. It must be deserved. This legacy, buried and protected for centuries, continues to inspire and challenge humanity, serving as a reminder of the transformative and potentially dangerous power that knowledge carries. If you enjoyed the content and want to support our work so we can continue to bring you more research and in-depth analysis, please consider making a $100 donation. This contribution directly helps the channel grow and produce even richer materials. Thank you very much for your support.